Hey everybody, welcome to eTrailer.com. I'm Bobby, and today we're taking a look at the Titan Chain snow tire chains with V-bar links and cams here on our 2020 Ford F-150. Now this is going to be a very aggressive, great way of getting you through that snow and ice and all that mire. As you guys can probably tell right out the gate, you are going to get V-bar links. Now these are going to be your most aggressive approach to biting through that snow and ice while still getting a nice conformed fit to our tire. As you guys can see, it is going to have that twisted link on the bottom and those V-bar struts welded on top. That way we are cutting through that snow and ice with no problem. Right out of the gate though too, you are getting a ladder style chain here. So you are going to get excellent start and stop as we go down the road. Now with that, you are going to lose just a little bit of maneuverability on your turns as you are going to have to overcome these obstacles that we've put in place. However, they do a great job of giving us a lot of traction, which is what you really want to see from your tire chains. Right out of the gate too, you are seeing we have cams here today that you can probably guess from the title. That's going to make it great because we aren't going to have to need a rubber tensioner on here. It's just going to go ahead, tighten itself quite nicely here. Now you could go ahead and pick one up. They aren't that expensive and they can go ahead and really conform this to your tire. I'm a big fan of the cam system, of how well it gets it nice and tight. Just keep in mind, with these cams though too, be watching them. If you are doing any kind of off-roading, a branch could get twisted in here, twist it back. Now it's not going to undo it in 2 seconds, but it can be just something to be conscious of as we get on the road. Now it is going to be made of a manganese nickel alloy as well, so it's going to be holding up well to that corrosion and all those elements out on the road. However, it can behoove us to go ahead and give us a quick little rinse. That way our chains are going to last us for quite a while. While our installation doesn't take any time at all, let's go ahead and see how we got them on here. For our first part of our installation, we just want to go ahead and lay out our chains. A couple things we're looking for here. We want to make sure we have no kinks or links in these chains. That way we're not having anything binding ourselves. Make for a nice smooth fit on the top of our wheel. Things to also take note of, as you can see, we are having our hard points of contact pointed straight up today. Of course, our V-bar as well in that position. We want that smooth side actually facing our tire. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring this and lay it on top of my tire so that smooth side will be facing and have that face on the tire itself. As well with this too, making sure your cams are already untightened can be helpful. Sometimes they just kind of pinch themselves in, and it makes for a less great fit as we get this on our wheel. But to do so, I just simply want to come right here in the middle, shifting it over, trying to kind of even it out. So I can go ahead and kind of count just a few in, get it kind of set here. And then I kind of like to wing out my arms a little bit, guys. Can make it really easy to get it set across that wheel without damaging the rim. And now we can go ahead and start shifting and making sure we are seated properly on here. Well, now that we're looking pretty good here, I think we got a pretty good, decent spread here. I'm gonna go ahead, we're gonna hop on the inside and make our first connection. Here we are on the inside of our F-150, and we just want to take our back connection here on either hand. As you're going to see, you're going to have that little hook and these extra links on the other end. Now we can go ahead, pull these guys in and start making this connection. To do so, I'm just simply going to pull it tight and right in there. And I like to go ahead and kind of seat my chain in here as well, making sure that this front connection here still has room to get around our tire. And we are looking pretty good here. Now we might need to adjust this, so it can be dependent on when you get everything else seated. But as you guys can see, we have a few little extra chains here. We highly recommend snipping these guys off. That way they're not banging around, causing any kind of damage or at least any kind of noise on the back of our tire. Well, now that we've made that back connection, we want to bring ourselves to the front here and make our front connection. We have our little cam lever here and our extra chains. We simply want to loop this through and pull it back here today. As you guys can see, I've gone ahead and made it as close as I can today. So we are sitting just a little looser. Now our cams are going to bring us in here in a second, but this can give us a lot of good space. So all we have to do is loop this cam lever right into that extra chain. It's going to hold itself. Again, you're going to see this extra chain on the end always can snip those guys down just to start saving us a little room when we do have this permanently for ourselves. Well, as you can see though, we are having a little bit of looseness here, but I want to go ahead, set my chains, make sure they're evenly spaced. We don't want any of those V-bars being turned into our tire, but now that we are looking good, other than maybe at the bottom, which will adjust itself as we roll the vehicle, we can go ahead and start tightening in our cams. So we're going to take our included tool here today, guys, and we just simply insert it in the inside of that cam and start tightening it in. You're going to see it's going to go ahead and transpose and pull in, really reducing that space between our chains, and we can repeat the process across our wheel. Checking for tightness as we go can be a big help. We already are very, very tight now, other than maybe a few of these guys. So we're gonna see if we can get this last cam to work, but we already might be tightened quite enough. I think we can get this one more out of it. And making sure we're nice and set there all the way. That looks good and tight to me. Well, as you guys saw, that installation didn't take any time at all. I'm a big fan of how those cams work. Make it really easy to get nice and tight across the entirety of our wheel. The only thing to keep in mind, you are having to get underneath the vehicle, having to get in that muck and mire. So that's one little kind of caveat with it. Of course, we always recommend to throw this on in your garage at home just to get familiar with your chains. However, since you have V-bars, definitely be careful as they can tear up your garage, even your driveway. They can be just a little too aggressive on the cement. A couple things to take note of today too. We do have it on our rear wheels here on our vehicle, as we are rear wheel driven. Of course, check your vehicle's owner manual guide to make sure yours is the same, and it can help a lot to get a little bit of weight behind that rear axle to give us a lot of good pressure on these tires today. We also are on a 265/7017 tire here today, so if your tire size is just a little bit different, make sure you are putting that in the fit guide to make sure it is fitting yourself today. However, I think these guys are right in the range for our Ford F-150. So we should be doing pretty good. Well, guys, I am a big fan of the V-bar. Again, going to be very aggressive for you, and you know it is going to be holding up for a long time. Just a gentle rinse to get all that salt off can go a long way, and store them in a nice, cool place. Of course, it is going to come with this nice little canvas bag. This would be great to throw in the back of our Ford. That way they're ready for us whenever we need it. Now, it isn't going to hold up too long, though. It is just a little bit of a canvas style, so keep in mind, it is going to be wearing down over the years to go. Well, guys, I think that about does it for our look at the Titan Chain snow tire chains with V-bars and cams here on our 2020 Ford F-150. I'm Bobby. Thank you for watching.